What is going on, guys? How's it going? Thanks for tuning in to another video. It's your boy Rush, back at it again today. Well, today I'm giving you a little update because I actually ended up breaking both my Mustangs. So my 2019 Whipple Mustang is having issues, and my Boss Fair 2 is having issues as well. And before we all rush into the comments real quick, telling me that I should have modified the Challenger because the Challenger would have been way more reliable, all that good stuff. Here's what I got to say to that. So I see that kind of comment a lot now, and it's really not a Ford or a Mopar thing. It's adding horsepower type of equation. So anytime you take a car like this per se, which was made to make 460 horsepower, and you bump that up to over 800, you're gonna run into issues. It's kind of part of the game, and that's something that I'm expecting. So I'm not here to complain or anything, but I am here kind of just to share with you guys the ownership process and the things that do happen when you add horsepower to your car. So this car I've been kind of building over the past year and a half or so, and I've had a lot of fun with it. It's become into an absolute beast, and obviously it's nothing like it was when I first got it, where it was very tame, very kind of simple car. There's really not too much to go on with it, but now it's got so much more, and I've done a lot of upgrades to it over the ownership period that I've had it. So the issue I'm running into now happened after I added more power, and that was because I put the car in the 85. So if you don't know what E85 is, if you're on 91, that's the octane rating is 91, but E85 is actually a lot higher, so it's higher octane, gives you more power because you can add more timing, and it burns and combusts a little cooler, so you're able to crank out a little more performance out of your engine. And boosted cars love E85, especially in a place like California where we don't have 93 like some other states. Going E85 is a really good route because it's a lot more affordable than putting race fuel in your car, which is 101 octane or so. So on E85 your octane rating should be people guesstimate 106, 105, somewhere in that range, maybe a little higher, depending on how good the 85 is. So yeah, so now we're gonna go ahead and dive into the car. I'm gonna show you what the problem is, because I've kind of diagnosed it and I figured it out. So let me show you. Okay, so the problem happens to be in the engine bay. So we're gonna go ahead and open up the engine bay for you to take a look. And no, I don't have my hood struts installed yet, so I'm going to use the handy dandy one that Ford offers. So if you look at the Whipple, it's a good looking system and everything is really good about this, and honestly if I probably didn't bump up the power it wouldn't have had any issues because it's very well designed. And I ran the car pretty hard with the stage 2 Whipple, which was probably was making mid 600s at the wheels, which is really good power, considering the car before the Supercharger was making close to 480, 460 at the wheels. So now that we bumped up the power though, I feel like there's just a lot more that the torque increase and the power increase, and the fact that I drive the car hard caused the belt to rip. And when the belt ripped last time, it ended up causing a little bit of an issue with the tensioner. So some of you guys are gonna be able to tell right away that tensioner doesn't look right, because the belt is actually sitting a little off by 1 or 2 ribs there. So it's not sitting on the tensioner correctly, and I tried to go ahead and remove the tensioner and get it straightened out, but I think the tensioner may have gotten bent. And if the tensioner is good, then it could be that some of the other pulleys have gone bad and they might be tilting the belt in the wrong direction, and that could kind of be a reason why it's not sitting right. So yeah, it's a little bit of a diagnosis process that we have to do. So I do have to kind of tear into the car, so the car is going to be down for a little bit, and that's okay. So another thing is, I reached out to Whipple, I told them the issues I was having, and thankfully they were super cool, and they actually ended up sending me a 10 rib upgrade. So if you don't know a 10 rib upgrade, I'm going to show you right now. So the best way to show you what a 10 rib upgrade is by the belt. So if you look at the belt here, you're gonna notice some pretty significant difference between the two. So we have our 6 rib belt, which is currently the belt that's on the car. It looks like this, so you can see it's a lot slimmer, and it's a black belt. And then we have our 10 rib belt. Now the 10 rib belt, if you look at it in comparison, it's a lot thicker and a lot stronger. So the reason adding more ribs is important, especially if you're adding more power to the car, is as that pulley starts to spin faster and you're cranking out more power, your belt can only handle so much. So people often run into two things. Either the belts will start to break and you'll have issues like I'm having right now. Or what will happen is your belts will start to slip. So the consistency of boost that you're getting is going to be kind of bad. So at certain points, the boost might drop off, and the car will feel like it's falling out of power for a second or two there, and you'll be kind of weirded out with it. And I've actually experienced this with this car, especially on the last tune that I got, is that the car felt like it was losing power and then gaining it, and it would happen really quick. Like, it would just be driving and then it would gain power and then it would kind of stutter a little bit and go. So that I'm now suspecting was belt slip. So the belt may have been slipping, and that have been kind of maybe the start of the issues that I'm having right now. So yeah, that's going to be kind of the next upgrade for the car. So as you guys know, I kind of build my car slowly. And I like to go through the motions of the build. I don't really like to jump into big power. I kind of like to progress into it slowly, because it gives you time to kind of figure out the weak points and upgrade them. And also, it kind of eliminates the chance of error and causing big, catastrophic failure with the engine or other components of the car. So the issue is not super major, but it is something that has to be taken care of. I might try to attempt doing the belt at home if I can get the tools and everything to do them. Some of these things need to be torqued down to spec and stuff like that. Or I might also get a hand in doing it from a shop or something. So still kind of trying to decide. But today or yesterday, I took off the tensioner, tried to tighten it. Still didn't work, so today I might attempt it again and see if it'll work. But I'll keep you guys kind of updated. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of the process of building a car and then putting, more power into something. You're gonna run into these type of issues. So if you're scared of dealing with this type of stuff and diagnosing your car and getting your hands dirty in there, then probably, adding power should not be on your list of things to do, because even the greatest builds, you're still gonna run into issues where you need to kind of do some type of work. Things are designed a certain way for this car, and when you add power, that changes. So the reliability, the longevity of certain parts is gonna kind of decrease. So you have to be ready for that. And most of all, it can get pretty costly, because a 10 rib belt upgrade can easily run you a couple $1,000s. So yeah, that's my little talk today. I kind of just wanted to tell you guys that that's what's happening with the car, and address that comment that I keep saying, like, hey, you should have done stuff to the SRT. The SRT may have done a little better, I'm not sure, but it may have done worse too, because who knows how that thing would have reacted to more power. I've seen people blow those things up when they added boost to them, and whether the transmission will hold that kind of power or not, it's all kinds of stuff. So it's really just a process you have to be ready for, and it's things that kind of add up on top of each other. You start with one thing, you could have started with a stage 1 Whipple, and then you become a stage 2, and then you want to go past that, you get a custom tune and all that stuff, E85. As you can see, the options are endless, and if you have the money to keep going, you can really build the fastest car out there. So it just all depends on where you want to go. Now, before I end up this video, there's one thing I want to say. That is, with this car, I'm kind of nearing the limit that I want to hit. So I don't want to go out of a certain point. So for me, once the car is comfortably and safely hitting, close to 850 wheel horsepower, I think that's going to be kind of my cutoff. Especially being that it's a manual car and it's a car that I use on the street and something that I like to enjoy and take out on the weekend and stuff like that. I don't want to get to the point where I'm pushing so much power that the car is constantly having issues, constantly breaking things, and just becomes kind of a headache and not really something that I'm going to enjoy. So you have to kind of find that sweet spot. If you're racing competitively, then it makes sense. That's your track toy. That's something that you're gonna want to go fast in, and that's all it's made to do. But with a car like this, when I bought it fully loaded. If you guys know, my car has the digital dash, it's got the leather, it's got everything in it. It's really a car that I want to be able to enjoy at all times, and that's part of the reason that I went with the Whipple. And the reason I say that is because I have my twin turbo Boster 2 sitting right next to me here, and I'm gonna make another video about this car and what the purpose of it was and why I ended up getting it. But for now, we're gonna just kind of stick to talk about the supercharged Whipple Mustang. And the reason I went with Whipple is just because it was a safe bet. The car has a stage 2 stage 2. It's carb certified, so you can't get in trouble if you get pulled over. You can safely run this, because it complies with the emissions within California. And also, it's just a very reliable, safe way to go. There's not a ton of piping, there's not too many things going on in the engine bay that would make this a nightmare to work on or make it hard to kind of diagnose if something does go wrong. Really, it's kind of simple if you understand the concept of superchargers and what it needs. you'll know what to look for and how to keep an eye on everything and stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of today's video. A little bit of an update. Sorry, I kind of rambled on a little bit, but I feel like some of this can be very helpful information for some of you guys out there that are in the process of boosting your car. And hopefully, if there's enough support in the comments down below, we'll go ahead and make a little comparison video between a twin turbo Mustang and a supercharged Mustang, and kind of give you my thoughts on that, because I own both of them, so I kind of got to experience both sides of the equation. So that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please support the channel by picking up your merch. If you haven't seen it already, there it is. Run your car, not your mouth. So there's a link in the down below where you guys can check it out and support the channel. So thank you so much for tuning in today. If you did enjoy today's video, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. It's your boy Rush, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.